The Suicide Squad was a great feast of violence, madness, and heart. It introduced viewers to a plethora of DC Comics villains, some well known, most less so. However, you may have noticed a few familiar faces and voices. Much like the comics, the Marvel and DC cinematic universes have proven to be a ripe ground for cross-pollination. Here are 9 actors in the Suicide Squad who were also in the MCU. Idris Elba. Before he was cursing at his daughter and fighting a starfish alongside rats and polka-dots, as the squad leader Bloodsport, Idris Elba fought Dark Elves and Frost Giants as Heimdall in the MCU, appearing in all the 4 films as well as Avengers Age of Ultron and Avengers Infinity War. Heimdall was one of Thor's closest allies and friends. His power to channel the Bifrost and see all within the 9 realms was a fascinating ability, and he frequently proved himself to be a noble hero. Bloodsport could take some lessons from him. Michael Rooker. Featuring in every film James Gunn has directed, it's no surprise Michael Rooker appears once again in the Suicide Squad. He plays Savant, an excellent marksman and savage killer. Throughout his time in the film, we see his exposure to the horror of being on the squad change him and reveal a more emotional side. In a way, this mirrors Yondu's arc in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, Rooker's contribution to the MCU. The hardened space pirate slowly reveals his true nature as a loving, if flawed, father. Between Yondu's red metal mohawk and Savant's long white locks, we're curious to see what Gunn makes Rooker wear on his head next. Sean Gunn. Sean Gunn is a special case on this list, as he appears in both the Suicide Squad and the MCU, twice. In the Suicide Squad, he plays the goofy, child-killing Weasel. However, he also has a cameo as Calendar Man, a semi-prominent Batman villain and serial killer. You can see him mocking Polka-Dot Man in Belle Reve. Meanwhile, in the MCU, he plays Kraglin, Yondu's emotional and loyal right-hand man. As well as this, while Bradley Cooper performs the voice of Rocket Raccoon, it is Gunn who performs the motion capture for the troublesome Trash Panda, as seen in the now iconic picture of Drax petting Gunn in a green morph suit. If Disney ever makes a live-action adaptation of Ratatouille, we know who they should call. Nathan Fillion. The Castle Star flexes magically misplaced muscles as TDK, aka the Detachable Kid. He showed a taste for seatbelt safety, discerning dog breeds, and Mr. Pibb. Meanwhile, in the MCU, Fillion had a small cameo as a monstrous inmate in Guardians of the Galaxy. Instead of drinking Mr. Pibb, he wanted to slava Star-Lord and jelly. However, before this could happen, Groot gave him a prison nose job, and that was the end of him. Fillion almost cameoed again in Part 2 as Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, a superhero and actor. There was a scene on Earth where a Simon Williams Film Festival would display a bunch of his movie posters. However, this was cut. Maybe he can join Matt Damon's Asgardian acting troupe. Pom Klementieff. Pom Klementieff was a standout addition to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. As Ego's adopted daughter Mantis, with the powers to read emotions and instill sleep in others, she has a peculiar power set that has been both funny and pivotal. Plus, she has antennae, which are pretty cool. She has an extremely quick cameo in the Suicide Squad, as one of the dancers where the squad tries to track down the Thinker. Maybe this means we could see Mantis take to the dance floor sometime soon. David Dastmalchian. Before he was the mama-hated Polka-Dot Man, David Dastmalchian was Kurt, Ant-Man's Russian hacker Robin Hood. Appearing in Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Kurt has been Scott's guy in the chair and is most well known for singing a lullaby about Baba Yaga. Lloyd Kaufman, which is where James Gunn got his start. Now, Lloyd often cameos in James's films. He did so as a prisoner in Guardians of the Galaxy and as a dancer in the Suicide Squad. Nice to see he made parole. Taika Waititi. Ratcatcher 1 is briefly seen in some emotional flashbacks where he taught his daughter the way of rat whispering and pondered some pretty sweet notions. He was played by none other than Taika Waititi, writer and director of Thor Ragnarok and the upcoming Thor Love and Thunder, who also played Korg in several MCU films and even a short. Korg is a big, rocky alien who has fought and gamed alongside the God of Thunder. He is a wannabe revolutionary and the world's friendliest blue rock monster. If Korg could control rats, I imagine his revolution would have gone a bit better. Sylvester Stallone. Finally, this may not be a face you recognised, but you probably recognise the voice. Rocky himself, Sylvester Stallone, stars as the voice of everyone's favourite face eater, King Shark. But before that, he played Stakar, aka Starhawk, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, an old comrade of Yondu, who has some pretty understandable beef with him. Starhawk went on to orchestrate the beautiful ending of not only Yondu, but the film. Special mention goes to Lawrence Fishburne and J.K. Simmons, who don't appear in the Suicide Squad, but do both appear in the MCU and DCEU. Did you spot any others? Please let us know, and thanks for watching.